What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Derek.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're last week's album where we're bringing you two opinions on the best new music. And today we're talking about I Love You, Honeybear by Father John Misty. But before we go any further, we're going to start things off like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
Cheers, Derek, and everyone at home.
I Love You, Honeybear is a sophomore album from Josh Tillman. Father John Misty. I'm giving away the ending here. But before I'm giving away the rest of the story, Father John Misty is Josh Tillman, who was the former drummer for the Fleet Foxes. As I mentioned, this is his sophomore album, so this follows 2012's Fear Fun, which we actually reviewed here at last week's album, albeit one of our final reviews in writing. So before we made the big leap here to the YouTube. But we thought it was a great album, and it appeared on both of our top whatever albums that year. I think it ranked very highly on both mine and Kevin's list. And since Fear Fun, Josh Tillman got married, and a lot of those relationship-type themes are present here on the album. And on the Sub Pop website, who released this record, he describes the album as being a concept album about a guy named Josh Tillman who spends quite a bit of time banging his head against walls, cultivating weak ties with strangers, and generally avoiding intimacy at all costs. This all serves to fuel a version of himself that his self-loathing narcissism can deal with. We see him engaging in all manner of regrettable behavior. So that's straight from the horse's mouth of kind of the theme behind here. But when we tried to describe what it sounds like, Kevin, what did you think of I Love You, Honeybear?
Derek, I think I Love You, Honeybear sounds like Andy Kaufman impersonating Jim Croce and backed by the Eagles. What do you think, Derek?
I was damn close to having beer coming out of my nose right there, Kevin. Way to drop the Andy Kaufman bomb. I like it. I think I Love You, Honeybear sounds like Father John Misty gets married and hires a wedding band to lay down 70s Laurel Canyon classic rock sounds for the weirdest reception ever.
I can only imagine that if Father John Misty played a wedding reception, he'd probably end up with the bride by the end of it.
Yeah, and he'd be singing about it like halfway through, because as we may or may not get to, he doesn't give a damn about the concept of time. So that brings us to key tracks. Kevin, what did you have?
I'm going to go with track number 10, which is called Holy Shit. What about you, Derek?
That is a good one. I'm actually going with track number, I believe it's 8 or 9, Born in the USA. What?
Number 9. Yeah.
All right, number 9. So 9 comes before 10. So Born in the USA, I'll kick us off. Title is clearly an allusion to Springsteen's Born in the USA, but all their comparisons kind of end there. This one sonically starts off with a lone piano and Tillman's lone vocals. Strings subtly join the fray later. And then there's canned laughter and applause towards the end in response to some of the one-liners that he delivers there at the end. For example, he says, "Oh, they gave me a useless education and a subprime loan." And just to kind of give you a taste for what's here, the lyrics, as I was kind of alluding to, really explores the state of the middle class. The first 2 verses, he goes all first person, giving accounts of the anxiety felt by a married man and wife, which I just thought was very interesting. One example lyric here, he says, "How many people rise and think, oh good, the stranger's body's still there, our arrangement hasn't changed." Just this very cynical view of the status quo. I thought overall it was just a chilling examination of society, which, after listening, made me want to stand up and shout, "Save me, President Jesus!"
Deep get there, Derek. If you guys have heard the album, you will get that joke. If not, you'll be wondering what Derek's talking about. Either way, it was Yeah, that is a great track. I would have chosen that, but Derek chose it. So I opted for my second favorite track, number 10, which is called Holy Shit, which is really fun to say. And it's a pretty simple track over acoustic strumming. Tillman sort of questions cultural norms. We get lyrical nuggets like new regimes, old ideals, that's now myth, that's now real. Later he says mobile lifestyle, loveless sex, independence, happiness. Then some sort of piano noodling joins in to lighten the pretty dark mood. And later, symphonic strings and a choir take it to an even higher level of consciousness, which, for a song titled Holy Shit, is pretty lofty. But all in all, it works really well. So definitely check out those two tracks, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one, Kevin. Which brings us to best lyric. So once you're done taking a sip of your beer, why don't you tell us what you picked out?
All right, I'm sticking with Holy Shit. Totally different lyric here that goes, maybe love is just an economy based on resource scarcity. What I fail to see is what's that got to do with you and me. For a generally sort of sarcastic, self-loathing, narcissistic album, I like how he turns it from just being about dark and sort of really, I don't know, icky stuff into kind of a sweet sentiment, you know? What does all that have to do as long as I love you and you love me? So really nice turn on his overall character throughout the album. What'd you pick, Derek?
Kevin, before I go to mine, quick fun fact, that song, Holy Shit, he wrote it on his wedding day.
I didn't know you knew him personally, but that's really interesting that he told you that.
Or so I read on the internet.
Awesome.
Sorry. So this my best lyric comes actually from a very deeply personal experience in Josh Tillman's life. It comes from a song called "The Night Josh Tillman Came to Our Apartment." And I was not involved in the writing of the story, so it's actually about, I guess you could say, he had an encounter with a woman, and she was bragging about it to all her friends, and he uses this song to really get back at her. And so she's still spewing that stuff. She should really check out this song, because she might want to check herself. But without further ado, here's the one, and I'm apologizing ahead of time, it's a little lengthy, but I want to capture all of it here. Oh, I just love the kind of woman who can walk over a man. I mean, like a goddamn marching band. She says, like literally, music is the air that she breathes. And the malaprops make me want to fucking scream. I wonder if she even knows what the word means. Well, it's literally not that. And I just loved it. I was cracking up when I was listening to this on headphones, and people were looking at me like, you are crazy. And I was like, you need to listen to this song. So that was my best lyric. Kevin, that brings us to overall rating. What did you think?
I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. I was looking extremely forward to it. Going into it, I thought I would undoubtedly give it a 5 out of 5. But as I listened to it, a few cons came to the surface that I will breeze over here. I think that he explores a few new sounds. Not all of them work, namely the sort of disco hip-hop of True Affection didn't do a whole lot for me. And overall, I think his shtick is starting to wear thin. This alter ego of Father John Misty, it felt fresh and new on his debut on Fear Fun, but now it feels like he's sort of sticking to this character to a fault, sort of at the expense of artistic exploration. I think he could do some more interesting things if he sort of let that character go. I know that might be blasphemous for fans of Father John Misty, but on the pro side, I thought he did a lot more atmospheric, and there's a lot more sonic meat here than on Fear Fun. It was very guitar-driven, whereas this one has a lot of orchestral flourishes and more variety to it. So overall, not a bad album. I just think, you know, I don't know. Is it time for something new for Josh Tillman other than Father John Misty? What do you think, Derek?
Wow, Kevin, those are some big questions you're raising. And I haven't talked to, you know, FMJ recently enough to know, you know, what those answers might be. But I think you raised some really good points, and you may have reined in my initial rating. I was going to go 5, but I think I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 overall. I think you made some really good points. I agree. I think the sound he didn't venture out much. Definitely, True Affection, was kind of his first foray into kind of an electronic sound. I think when you pair that song with the lyrics, as that one was really going, highlighting the impersonal nature of electronic communication. I think that brings it up a little bit for me. It's kind of matching the theme. I thought overall here, like compared to Fear Fun, I thought the lyrics were much more interesting. More well developed. I think the Father John, the Fear Fun Father John Misty was having a good time writing it down after the fact. Here, it was much more deliberate. Much more. Much more skeptical of everything going on, and I think you kind of summarized that very well, kind of saying there were some dark, icky moments, but and not as much tongue-in-cheek fun, so I give you that. And so I don't know if this persona is, if maybe he should have been, and maybe he needs to go have a fun day at the beach with his wife. So there you have it. That's where we're leaving it. A 3 from Kevin, a 4 from myself, so that is a 7 out of 10. So you should go check this out. Just go check it out, and let us know what you think. But thanks again for joining us here at last week's album. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out again next week, where we'll continue bringing you 2 opinions on the best new music. And until then, I will continue being Derek.
And I will continue being Kevin. And we love all of you, honey bears.
Cheers.